Oh my goodness, here we are. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Sam Roberts. Now, I had a little echo in the room. That was because Mashup Nicole's microphone was still up. We've taken care of it. Welcome. Here we are. I know that I don't need that microphone on because it is the loneliest night of the week. Another lonely Friday, and the loneliest show anywhere on the internet is Sam Roberts. Now, and who is going to join the Lonely Feud this week? Very special guest. Where is he? Where's my mouse? Hot Dog!
Good evening and konnichiwa, bitches. Happy Friday, Sam.
You had a look like you weren't prepared for me to, like you didn't know, like you were just watching, like you're just like, I wonder who it is. Who's going to be on the screen this week?
I was taking out the ads on my YouTube so I could properly watch the feed.
Click
Not everyone pays for YouTube, whatever, like you.
Premium?
Yeah, like a herb.
Yeah, no, I'm the one who looks like a herb here. No, good point. I was just clicking out the ads. I was clicking out the ads because I'm cool. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize. I'm sorry I come across as such a nerd. Welcome, everybody, to Sam Roberts Now. And we've got a lot to cover tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, if you want to participate in the show, super chat in to participate in any of the conversations that we are having, or to create a new conversation that we should be having, because already in 2024, conversation is what this year has become about. We have heavy hitters that are taking the power into their own hands and making, well, I hate to tell you this, Hot Dog, legacy media outlets less and less relevant. Yeah, you should have let me finish the sentence, because, I mean, these podcasters have just decided we need to get every set of eyeballs in the world on us. Two things happened here. First, we documented it last week, and we're here to document. That's what Sam Roberts Now is here to do. Provide a living document of everything that we're going through. So at some point,
historians.
That's right. At some point, when the world has long ended, they'll find all these hard drives, and they'll go, we got to see what's on them. And it'll be me documenting everything that's happened that nobody could possibly care about.
Now, not to be technical, Sam, but those SSD drives will rot in a couple of decades. But I got you backed up on some CDs, so we're good.
You can see these nuts. They're not going to rot in 20 years. They'll be rotted.
That's the usual lifespan for a hard drive.
20 not for a solid state.
Big Mr. Big Shot.
Let's go back to what we got in the Hot Dog text earlier today. Hot Dog's new quote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's my mix-up. This is how we're going to know Hot Dog going forward. I said solid state. He said, okay, here's my mix-up.
Yeah. It's an evergreen text.
It is. I don't know how long solid state drives last, but I'm confident that the world will end way before the solid state goes rotted. So I think we should be fine.
Give or take 20 years.
And also, they're like, here's the good news. It's been 100 years. These hard drives they're rotted. We have all the data saved on CDs. Now, where can we find a drive?
The drives have rotted.
Right. Don't worry. I have them saved on zip disks. Remember zip disks? It's like a floppy, but 100 floppies. You'll never need anything else.
Put them all together. Patch them up.
The reason that I say this is just the era of conversation that these podcasters are running wild is because here's the story. Here's what happened. We documented last week what Cat Williams had done. And people are still talking about Cat Williams because it was so... Cat Williams is one of the few people... Usually these podcasts are like 3 hours. And it's good enough. Like when Elon was on Rogan the first time, that's it. It was a 3-hour-long conversation. And for 10 seconds of it, Elon was smoking drugs for the first time. At least that's how it appeared.
No, I've smoked before.
No, I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. I used to say that in high school too. And that 10 seconds was enough to fuel us. Cat Williams is really the first one who decided to say, we have 3 hours. I'll use all of it. I'll use every single minute, regardless of what question you're going to ask. It's going to be a clip a minute for the full 3 hours, and then I'll excuse myself.
I'll give you 3 hours worth of sound bites.
Right.
Don't worry, I got you.
I got you. You can
went
come.
to Sam Roberts School of Sound Bites.
That's right. He's staring down Sammy Soundbites on A&E. And by the way, new A&E docs coming soon. Wait till you see. Oh, wait till you see the way the soundbite game is picked up. It's pretty incredible. But people are looking around going, well, how am I going to compete with this? So the Cat Williams podcast comes out, right? And this sports podcaster, broadcaster guy on the Blaze, Jason Whitlock, who I don't really know too much about. I know he's got questionable Google results based on his ads, but that's pretty much all I know, I think.
Some in the black circle would call him an uncle something.
I would hope that's not true. That'd be terrible. I would hope that wouldn't be the case. That's awful.
Some people on black Twitter.
I hope that they wouldn't say that. So he goes, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to capitalize on the Cat Williams podcast. I'm going to use it against my enemies, okay? And so he goes, because it's now a point of reference. It's a point of reference that we can all point back to and then bounce off of it. So I can use Cat's attacks to attack the people I want to attack. So what he did was, Cat Williams went on that podcast and was talking about how Kevin Hart is an industry plant, like Bobby Altoff, an industry plant.
By the way, where is she?
The industry decided everybody was smartened up to it. They were like, all right, let's pull it out from the roots. We're done.
They got us.
We're done. All right, we got to find a new plant. So he goes, well, it's interesting because I was watching my chair keeps sinking. It's interesting because I was watching the Cat Williams part. Yeah. I didn't spend the money on it. I was watching Cat Williams, and he was talking about industry plants. You know who's an industry plant like Kevin Hart? Stephen A. Smith. And it was like, oh. He said Stephen A. Smith. And then he started calling him. He was like, I looked at his autobiography. He said he played one game. He was averaging 1.5 points per game. If that's a lie, I would imagine the whole biography is a lie. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to that effect. And this rubbed Stephen A. Smith the wrong way because Stephen A. Smith then realized that, okay, he's besmirching my name. And after Cat Williams decided to ether the industry, he made a podcast big enough that Jason Whitlock could jump off of it. Now what I have to do is just ether Jason Whitlock because the whole world would go Cat Williams, Stephen A. Smith, I'm getting him confused already, is above this, right? He'll insult an athlete's play. He'll call a basketball player fat, but he's above insulting a journalist, right?
He's the big dog.
Right. Well, he is the big dog. There's other big dogs, but he's one of them. And he is one of them. And I know we spent about 90 minutes technically talking about this on SiriusXM with Joe DeRosa.
I wanted to pull my hair off with that entire conversation.
Yeah, most of it wasn't about the clip. It was just Joe loves arguing, and I don't have the power to stop an argument, and Joe loves to argue, so we were stuck in a vicious cycle. So we didn't really get to give Steven the credence or analysis that he deserves. So here he is, Stephen A. Smith deciding that he needs to get on that Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp train and drop one of his own. Now, this isn't going to have the same effect. I think Cat Williams has changed Shannon Sharp's podcasting life forever. Like, that has become a point of contact. This, I'm sure, alerted a lot of people to the fact that Stephen A. Smith was even doing a podcast. Because trust me, I know when you're a professional broadcaster, like Stephen A. Smith is, like the last professional broadcaster is, when you also do digital content, it becomes one of those things where it's like there's so many things going on, you're never going to watch all of it, but you'll catch him here and there, right? There are plenty.
It's fairly new, and for a while it seemed like it was just like a little indulgence. Like he would go in there
like this is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would talk about like sex and like taking callers who like needed help with like, relationship and stuff.
Tell me something right now. How much you packing?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. But he's like, okay, now I have an outlet. And also I'm sure Shannon Sharp's like, I just made what I made in the NFL overnight because of that Cat Williams podcast. So Stephen A is like, okay, maybe it is time to ether Jason Whitlock. And he said, he's only doing it once. One time only. This is what he said.
He is despised. He doesn't report anymore, y'all. All he does is make noise by coming after the very people who did and still does what he once did.
Still do. It'd be still do. Who did and still do.
He aspires to do, but no longer has the outlet to do because he is considered a vile, despicable human being that no one wants anything to deal with. Nothing.
Nothing?
That's who he is.
What?
I will not be speaking
on
him anymore.
Oh, good.
He's a liar.
Okay, a little more.
He's a piece of shit.
Oh, okay, a piece of shit.
Harsh.
My apologies to ESPN.
Isn't that great? He's like, I'm not going to say anything else. And Jason Whitlock's like, okay. Except he's also a piece of shit. Well, why'd you have to add that in? If you were done, you were done.
Just to recap.
Piece of shit.
In case you weren't listening to the last hour.
Yeah, we're about 48 minutes into this thing. I just picked a place on the YouTube video and started going because, he likes to just lay it on and lay it on and lay it on.
I mean, he's a pro. He's a professional.
He's a pro. But also he comes from the world of like traditional broadcasting where he's resetting every few minutes in case somebody's just tuning in. But it's YouTube. Like
in case you just tuned in,
right?
I'll give you the lowdown. Jason Whitlock, liar, fat bastard, lowdown piece of shit,
and a bitch.
Yeah,
you forgot bitch.
My family.
He's apologizing.
Friends, my staff, my employees.
Right. His hot dogs.
My apologies to Fox for staining their name by even mentioning the fact that he was once there. My apologies to John Skipper. My apologies to Dan Le Batard and Stu Gotts and their show. My apologies to Jamel Hill.
That's what's up.
I didn't even mention Kerry Champion. He was insulting to her, along with others. Whether it's Amina Kimes, whether it's Monica McNutt, it's Kimberly. He got something to say about everybody. Molly Kiram.
There's a lot of names. I've never heard of a lot of these names.
For first
throwing names, the who's of the sports journalism, I guess.
I guess.
My apologies to everybody.
He's just apologizing to everybody.
You had to see me out of character to address.
It's not fully out of character, really. It's just like cursing more.
But I asked for everybody indulgence for one show and one show only.
Oh, okay, because he said before he was done. Now he's saying, I'm done after this show. And
show's not done yet.
Show's not over.
Still got 10 more minutes.
And please do not allow this to be a reflection on my character because this is not how I act every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not canon.
No, this is not.
From my soul.
Right.
When I say, this is the worst human being I've ever known.
Oh.
I don't know of another human being worse.
Not one? He knows
Jason Whitlock.
He just mentioned so many people. You can only imagine.
He is a piece of shit.
Oh, that's why.
He's the dude that's going to have a funeral and ain't going to be no pallbearers.
Oh, no.
Might be two people that show up. He's that dude.
He's that dude.
He's the absolute worst. And he lies.
Not that too.
On top.
Imagine he's like, what if I never lie again? No. You're the absolute worst. And then also you lie. So if you stopped lying, you'd still be the absolute worst.
You're at a negative, fam.
Yeah.
Lying is just a sprinkle.
You're starting from a deficit. The problem is not the lying. The problem is that you're the worst and you're a piece of shit. What if I don't lie anymore? You'd still be a piece of shit. That's the problem.
What about like honest Abe? And I just go around telling the truth 24/7. You come to me if you want the truth.
No, because you're a piece of shit.
Ah, shit.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Has to set people up to fail, to big up himself because he can't do it on his own.
Ooh.
He had a television show. He failed.
Ouch.
He's had opportunities one time after another. He doesn't measure up. Now he's coming at the big dog. And let me tell you something right now. I am the big dog.
Oh, you're just asking about that hot dog.
I ain't the only one.
I ain't the only
one. This planet.
I'm the head of the table.
This would be like if Roman Reigns just went on a 1 hour rant against like, I don't know,
internet?
Like Funaki.
Funaki. And Funaki thinks that he should get a title shot. You're like, what? Nobody thinks this is going to happen. This is unnecessary.
He's a piece of shit, Funaki.
Oh, whoa.
Skip Bayless, apologies to him too for bringing up.
Okay, so he keeps apologizing to people. We keep saying he's a piece of shit. Well, this, I mean, again, it went everywhere. Then over on Dan Le Batard, and I don't know why he was dressed like Richard Simmons. I'm going to be 100% honest.
I don't want to find out why either.
Not at all.
Without context.
Not at all. I love that he's like, well, we have this story that everybody's going to be wanting clips on. Everybody's going to go to it, so everybody's going to see this clip. I'm going to leave the Richard Simmons outfit on. And, yeah, if somebody's like, well, no. I don't want to hear it.
It seems to be like a category, like a theme this year, like Tony Khan during the last press conference with that silly hat.
Right. What's the context? You know what? Don't worry about it. I don't need the context. I just like that it exists. Everybody whose profile picture is Tony Khan with the woman's hat and sunglasses on, nobody will ever ask, why was he like that? Because it just was. Because you know why? It was meant to be. Why is Dan Le Batard dressed up as Richard Simmons when he's addressing this controversy? Because it was meant to be.
I need to be careful here because this is not merely a person I have cared about. This is a person, Jason Whitlock, that is recently a month ago, and he's been slaughtering me and a lot of journalists I care about publicly for a long time. I called him a month ago several times, leaving messages just to see if he's okay. And I haven't talked to him in a long-ass time because some of this stuff hurts.
That's a sneaky way to insult somebody. Be like, no, I love this guy, man. I really care about him. And I've been watching what he's doing, and I keep calling to find out if he's okay. Well, you don't do that.
The guy's dissing you, and you're like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Are you okay? Like, that's...
Oh, that would enrage me.
Hot dog. I heard you're talking about me. Okay? Are you okay, bud?
Yeah, I'm fucking okay, dude. Fuck you.
I'm gonna tell you something. You sound angry. First thing I want you to do, relax.
Oh, it's the worst when someone tells you to
relax.
And you also know how to get people riled up, Sam.
Hey,
you're an expert at it.
Are you okay? Like, obviously not.
Easy, man. Easy. Tranquilo.
Huh. Because of me? It never even occurred to me.
My family knows Jason Whitlock. My brother
He's got the wig on.
Spent time with Jason Whitlock, and we were friends. And I like to think that whether it's David Sampson or Jason Whitlock or anyone, that I try to see the best in people, and that people are flawed, and that people are confused. And I don't want to turn this into a defense of Jason.
That's the other thing. Like, that's what happens when like radio people start doing podcasts. Like, we all come from the world of you really got to fill time. Like, what's the longest way you could say this? We got a lot of airtime to fill. Is there any way you could say this slightly longer? Is there a way you could squeeze more words into this sentence?
And slow down your cadence.
And I don't know how else to put this, but
Enoch is calling like, we got 7 seconds of silence. I don't know.
No. That's just a talk show. Just a single mic talk show.
Jason Whitlock, because he's made me super angry. I've got friends of mine who, if they saw him, they would beat him up in the street.
On site?
Yes.
Punch him right in the face.
Multiple friends I have that are so mad on my
Everybody's getting excited now. He's talking about assault.
When I tried very hard to care for this person. This part you guys will find funny. I'm pretty sure that the reason he turned on me is because of something Stugat said. It ain't anything I've ever said publicly about him. So
you never count on Stugats. So, and then, Jason Whitlock is having the time of his life with this. Because everybody's talking about this guy now. Stephen A. drops mission accomplished. And he knew. Stephen A. knew when he dropped the podcast that everybody in the world was going to be talking about him. So now, every sports jock is talking about everybody. And he's like every, 5 to 10 minutes of sending out another tweet and another tweet and another tweet. His response to Stephen A., I was watching some of it, some of like the clips, and he basically said that Stephen A. is not a tough guy, and that clearly he was very emotional. That his response, the way he spoke, the way Stephen A. spoke about Jason Whitlock, what Jason said was, it was very emotional, like Stephen A. was a woman. That's what he said. It was a very womanly way to handle things, which...
It doesn't sound like Stephen A. was yelling or...
Is that
he was
how
calling
you,
him a fat bastard
is
bitch.
that is that how you just think women... What do you think? You think women you just yell?
Something's wrong with my... Oh,
I'm sorry. You muted yourself. Yeah, so he's you know, that is the sort of ultimate when you're not invested and you're like, yeah, well, you're a woman. Like, okay, all right, whatever.
It's such a whack comeback.
Yeah, what are we even doing here? What are we doing?
You would have said that regardless of what Stephen A. said or how he said it. Because Stephen A. was just calling him a fat bitch.
He was calling him fat bitch.
Any guy talk.
Yeah, and I liked it, but I'm concerned. I very much enjoyed the Cat Williams podcast on Shannon Sharp. I enjoyed the Stephen A. Smith podcast immensely as well. But I am concerned because those numbers are obviously addicting. And those numbers don't maintain. You're not going to keep doing that type of show. Unless you're on this like spiral of self-destruction and you don't care because you're getting numbers right now. And it doesn't matter that this whole thing is going to blow up because you got the next thing, whatever. But that's not Stephen A. Like Stephen A's got to the next day go on ESPN again. Stephen A's got to do all the professional stuff that he does. So he can't just be a maniac on the internet all the time.
Well, I don't think he's concerned about the numbers like that. I think he just really, really hates this guy.
No.
Really, really needed to get it out of his system.
He knew. He doesn't. Well, yeah. Stephen A. does not do this podcast if Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp didn't do their podcast. This doesn't happen. And not just because that podcast led to Jason Whitlock, led to him. Isn't it amazing how no matter what industry it is, it all becomes Real Housewives? It doesn't matter if it's comedy podcasts, if it's sports podcasts, if it's Reddit, if it's whatever. All of it becomes Real Housewives. All of it becomes drama. People like to say, well, no, I don't like that silly reality TV show stuff. No, I don't like that silly pro wrestling stuff. I don't like this. I don't like that. But it's all exactly the same. It all feeds in to this nonsense drama that involves all these people that you really only care about because of the drama.
It's never positivity either. Positivity doesn't go viral.
No, it does not.
It's like a cute puppy.
You know what happens when you do a podcast where you're mainly positive? People call you a shill. That's what happens. They're like, well, he's not shitting on anybody, so I'll shit on him. How about that?
Or there's something wrong with him.
Right. So, yeah, so no, I mean, he knew what he was doing. He put out a preview clip. Like, he knew.
Obviously, he knows what he's doing.
I'm going to get these numbers. Anything. I'm going to get the... Now, he also knew I've got an enemy, right? I've got this punching bag. Because sometimes this happens. Like, whenever a celebrity back in the day, when I was a radio producer for O&A, whenever a celebrity would go after me, I was like, this is great. Because that's just punching up to the point where you can just punch all day and you never look like a bad guy. You know, like you could just keep going and going and going, whether you care or not. I never cared about any of it. But you could just keep...
Certain actors, yes.
Right. TV hosts, sure. But, like, I think Stephen A. goes, okay, this Cat podcast went crazy. Also, he attacked me, and I know everyone hates him. Nobody in my circle is going to take the other side. So I've got a perfect storm here where I can take my podcast, not my TV show, my podcast, go after him. None of my friends are going to be mad at me, and I can get my numbers up. But even if you're as successful as Stephen A. Smith, it's addicting. Getting the numbers up, not just because it's like, it's cool to make money on your own without a company, but there's just something about that instant feedback of watching the ticker scroll up, watching the thumbs up go up. You're like, oh, this is fun. And this is why this clip concerned me. This clip came out moments before we went live. This is breaking, and I find it very concerning because this could go the wrong way very, very fast. This is, you got those wax wings on. You know who Icarus is?
It flew too close to the sun.
I like that you identify Icarus as it.
I didn't say it.
You said it flew too close to the sun. What do you mean you didn't say it?
I did. I went like this. Flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, Icarus had these wings. He thought they were the real deal. He started flying right up to the sun. He's like, I got these wings, though. I can fly all the way to the sun. Here's what happens. The sun's going to melt the wings. What are you going to do? Fall from the sky. Stupid. You flew too close to the sun. It looked too good. You made some wings that allowed you to get halfway there. Be satisfied. Be happy with it. You're good. You got every other reason in the world that you wouldn't want to fall from the sky. But you had to see that sun. I'm worried. I'm worried. Too much winning?
Too much winning.
You're my little Icarus. I'm worried Stephen A. may be feeling that. I don't know, because this clip is all that came out.
The last time y'all saw me, obviously I had a lot to say.
Right.
You thought I was finished. I wasn't. Oh boy. The Stephen A. Smith Show coming your way. Check it out.
I also kind of feel like he didn't know the plug. You know what I mean? Like he was ready to say Monday at noon or on ESPN or something like that.
Where?
Where are we dropping this show? He's like, Stephen A. Smith Show. Oh, check it out.
Like, was that just like a general plug?
Yeah, because I'm checking it out. You're wearing a different shirt, a different show. It's the last show. I already saw that show. I'm checking it out. Check it out.
I've been watching.
Check it out.
He dropped that like 3 hours ago. And I haven't seen any clips going around or I haven't seen anything from him. I just typed in Stephen A. Smith. I didn't see anything worth checking it out.
No.
So that might just be like, oh, you thought we was done. Just watch the Stephen A. Smith Show generally every day.
Right. You thought that, yeah, there's more shows. I just meant the show. I'm not going to talk about the same stuff. I just meant the show. I think I work because like people then started commenting on his account going like, yeah, we thought you were done talking about it. You said you were done talking about it. Like, we don't need another one. I don't think
I'll take it.
I mean, will you?
It won't be as good, but it'll be like dessert.
No, it won't. This is your problem, Icarus. This is you think like, well, if that was good, more equals better.
Well, if someone came up to me with like a nice little carrot cake and was like, you know, here you go. Here's a little treat for you. I'd be like, well, all right, okay.
Right. And guess what? Guess what? There's a big piece of dog shit in the middle of the carrot cake. And you just took a big bite.
Can take this back. Here you go.
Right. You took a big bite, though. That's how you found out. And now your whole meal is not the meal where you had an incredible dinner followed by a wonderful dessert. It's where you had an incredible dinner and then you ate dog shit by mistake. And you know what you'll remember that night? You'll remember that night as the night you ate the dog shit. The dinner doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, but Stephen A. doesn't deliver dog shit, though.
He does if he does another Jason Whitlock podcast.
Okay, well, we're going to have to find another enemy then.
If he's got... Well, he also can't be a parody of himself. Because, like, there's got to be a suspension of disbelief. Like you just said, you fully bought into the fact that he just woke up and chose violence and decided to have a hate-filled podcast. And that it wasn't this sort of curated, planned thing.
I'm saying it could be both. I'm saying obviously you're trying to profit off of it.
That's exactly what a Mizark would say. No, I know but it's kind of the other way too. Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, if
that's like when Nicole Biggins is unsatisfied with me and she's like, no, I know some of the houses on Cribs are rented, but not all of them, right?
Okay, so it can't be. You're telling me it cannot be. I know this is gonna do numbers. I know it's gonna go viral, but also I hate this piece of shit. So this is awesome for me too. It can't be both.
The second part is ancillary.
You're going to have to use another word for me.
Okay. The second part is almost an addendum.
Again.
Okay. The first part is the main thing.
Okay.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
Maybe we got another Zion Williamson story to come out.
That was fun. Look, he can't. He can't
I'm here to talk about the fat piece of shit. And
Yeah.
you're like, who? Which one?
Well, yeah, you
He has two.
That's all you talk about now. Just fat people. This fat shaming podcast. I don't understand how this show became this thing.
I'm gonna give the microphone to Scott Steiner. He got some things to say about this fat piece of shit. I'm talking about the new AEW World Champion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, I hope he chills out and realizes we had fun for a day. We made some news, but it's time to get back to business as usual. What brought us to the dance?
Just the regular ridiculousness.
That's it. That's it. Hot takes on ESPN. Let Mad Dog have his time. Come on and talk to guys about their wieners and stuff on your podcast. Wait, that's what you said, Hot Dog. I don't know. I don't watch the podcast.
Yeah,
but, but
I don't know. Him talking about wieners is great.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Listen, this is more follow-up. Again, you got to watch Sam Roberts Now every single week because last week we came to you and we discussed. This is one of the greatest scenes in television history that we're looking right now. You know who this person is?
The screen is too small. Yeah, just zoom that.
Okay, first of all, we don't need to insult people, okay? It works for the room. It works for the space. That's Natalia Grace.
Okay.
And this is Michael.
Not the best screenshot.
You know, it's the best screenshot. That's Michael in the red backwards baseball cap and the T-shirt. She's praying for him. So I watched the end of the Natalia Grace docuseries. We were talking about it last week, and we are going to spoil it here, so it is what it is. I gave you a week. You know, we were all talking about it. We were going to watch it as a family, and I wasn't going to bring it up again because I don't necessarily like doing the same topic 2 shows in a row. But I watched the first 3 episodes and had an opinion, and then I watched the second 3 episodes and had more opinions. The second 3 episodes, basically they have it set up where the first minute of the show, the first minute of the series is incredibly important. That's where they go through all the sound bites of everybody talking about the show, which that part you can't miss. That's one of the best.
That's where all the stars are.
That's right. And mainly in these little boxes at the bottom of the screen. But so the first 3 episodes are really centered around the first meeting of Natalia Grace and the person who used to be her adopted father, Michael, who with his wife, Christine, had her re-aged. So instead of being born in 2003, she was born in like 1988 or something like that. That way they could move her into an apartment and they could go off and ride into the sunset and move to Canada. So that was the first season of the show. Second season is her telling her story. She wasn't involved. First half of the season, the first 3 episodes of season 2, centers around the producers getting Michael and Natalia Grace into the same room to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. 2 victims.
Well, that's what Michael tells us. Natalia's new father, Bishop Mann, he's in the room with Natalia, and Michael's lawyer is in the room with Michael. And within 2 questions, there's so much bickering. Michael, as we talked about last week, dramatically storms off, rips off his microphone, and leaves. So they get these 2 in a room together again. Michael's lawyer and Bishop Mann cannot be there. And so they're actually going to sit down and have this conversation. And really, the whole last 3 episodes are centered around this conversation. And most of this conversation is Michael going, I didn't know. He goes, have you ever seen Monsters, Inc.? And Natalia goes, yeah, I was a kid when it came out. You know, when you said I was an adult. No, she goes, yeah, I've seen Monsters, Inc. He goes, you know in Monsters, Inc., when one monster goes in all the doors and the kids think that they each have their own monster, but really it's the same monster haunting all of them? And Natalia is like, yeah, I know the movie.
Where is this?
I know the movie. He goes, that's Christine. And she came through both our doors. We share the same monster.
But we thought it was different.
And we go, and you're already going like, oh my God. You got one girl going like, no, you and your wife abused me as a child. And then the guy going, she was mean to me too. So I get it. Me and you.
You better bring a fire analogy if that's what you're sticking with.
Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
And I mean, he goes through fist bumps, high fives. He's like he's doing all this like weird, what comes across to me as manipulative stuff in this conversation, trying to get her on his side. She goes, yeah, I never even talk about her. She high five me. High five. Me and you, same page. He goes,
no,
I don't
stop it. It's not me and you.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't call her Christine. You know what I call her? Evil. That's my nickname for her. Evil. And she like kind of laughs because it's uncomfortable, but she agrees with it. And then he sees that laugh and he's like, okay, now we're best friends. Now we can do the thing.
I got it in.
She's like, did you know she pepper sprayed me? Remember we were talking about the pepper spray last week?
Right, which I said she probably should go to jail for that.
I would think so. She goes, did you know she pepper sprayed me? And Michael goes, I found out about 2 weeks ago.
What is that, like the Trump meme?
She's like,
I'm just finding out about it now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They just told
wow.
me. They just told me about 2 weeks ago. I just found out. I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know. There's a lot I didn't know. There's a lot, and I wish I had, and I wish I could take it back. And then like the producers like go through all these clips of him talking about it on camera from interviews that are years old. Like they've been interviewing this dude for years.
From the last
years
season?
ago. Yeah, from last season. You could tell he's wearing the same suit as last season. He's like, yeah, pepper sprayed me, blah, blah, blah. They have the follow-up as they're, splicing different footage into here. Remember last season? They gave him a laptop and they showed him the video of they were interviewing that little person that Christine, Natalia Grace's mom at the time, was talking to about like and like talking sexually with. Remember that guy? He lived in like his apartment was real messy and stuff.
Right, yeah.
And that's when they gave Michael the laptop and they wouldn't show what the video said. But Michael said, whose laptop is this? Do you want it back in one piece? I'm serious.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm going to break it.
So they showed the video, finally. They finally showed the video. And it was exactly what you think it is. The little guy was like, or the little person, I should say. That sounds demeaning.
The little fella.
The little person, I can't remember his name. He said that Christine told him that she walked in on Michael and Natalia making love, having sex.
Wait, whoa.
Yes.
What? Say it again. That
Christine told this little person that she walked in on her husband, Michael, and her adopted daughter, Natalia Grace, having sex with each other.
Oh, that's nuts.
And Natalia was like watching this video like, what? That never happened. No, that never happened. And Michael categorically denied it. And when I saw that, I mean, I did take that as a crazy Christine lie. That's how I took it. I don't think
I'm saying that's nuts
that she said that.
Yes.
I don't think that happened. But the fact that exists does allow Michael to lean more into the me and you have the same monster.
That's a good one for him.
Yes. And then Natalia Grace is like, you said that I walked into your room and stood at the side of your bed with a knife. Mike went, you did. And Natalia's like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. And Natalia goes, I couldn't even see over your bed. Like, I couldn't crawl up to your bed. I couldn't see over your bed. And he goes, but you did stand there with the knife looking at us. And she goes, I was never alone. Christine was always with me, and I couldn't get the knives anyway. I would have had to push a chair to the counter to get a knife and then go upstairs and then stand by your bed. You would have heard me. You would have seen me.
Yeah, but you remember everything when you do when you're 8. That one's plausible.
And then he goes like this, and yet, here we are.
Well, like, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know how that's supposed to be.
And yet, it was like that scene in Oppenheimer when they're like talking about, the atom splitting and stuff. And Oppenheimer goes, No. When he's talking about, he's like, do you know how whatever particle physics or whatever it is works? And he goes,
science.
Right, light waves. He goes, are they waves or is it motion? Is it motion or is it waves? It's both, but it couldn't be both. Yet it can be. It's paradoxical, but it works. Here's how it works. And then Michael was like that, except in his own way. He's like his version of Oppenheimer.
Except it was pure gibberish.
Yeah. He goes like. She goes, she goes, what about the people that you got me from? He goes, never met him. And she goes, I remember us being in the same.
Never met him.
Yeah.
I remember met him, Papa.
Never met him. She goes, I remember us being in the same room together. He goes, we weren't. We weren't. Which it's easy to argue with somebody who was a kid then, except unless she wasn't a kid, because she got aged up. So you're saying that if it's something you did when you were like 7 years old, you might have forgotten it. But
right. Yeah. Like
but according to them, because they aged her up, she would have been like 17.
Right. But
so
it doesn't change the fact that
do you
the
remember?
reality,
But do you remember?
Was 8.
Well, no, because they aged the court. You remember the things you did when you were 17.
Okay, legally speaking, she's 17, but technically, and I guess technically and legally are different things in this case.
And then the best part was, she goes, why did you guys re-age me? And he goes, did they tell you? He goes, part of this, we're not talking about that. She's like, huh? Well, part of the agreement, we're not talking about the re-aging.
Producer.
So like the whole sit down, they're like, okay, we're having the sit down, but we're not going to talk about the fact that they re-aged her. And you're like, well, then what are we talking about? That's the main.
We're going to talk about the evil elephant in the room.
Right. And so whatever, it's nuts. She's telling stories about the orphanage that she was in, that people would apparently, there was a guy who wore like a green monster Halloween mask with a cloak over it to try to scare the children into going to bed. It's wild.
That's awful.
But I mean, wild.
That's really awful.
But throughout this whole thing, like at the very end, he's crying. And he has this look. Michael has this look on his face when he cries, like that he's proud of himself in a way. It's just how I interpret it. But it really looks like he's like, yes, pulled it off. I knew I could get some tears out.
Like a scene.
Yeah,
like
yeah, dude. And then and Natalia has this weird way of like, she's always kind of half smiling, which people do if they're uncomfortable. But also, there's a lot of reasons to half smile. So at the end of the interview, this is the scene that we get, where Natalia looks at Michael and she's like, Michael, I forgive you. And he hasn't really said anything that justifies anything. But she goes, I forgive you. And he goes, oh my God, thank you so much. And he's got these crocodile tears and he's bending down on his knees and she's got her hand on his back and she starts praying to Jesus for him. And she does a prayer for him. And I'm sitting there going, this is not a real interaction. None of this can't be real. None of this can be real life. This is the weirdest scene between two of the strangest people I've ever seen. None of this plays as real. And then the weird lawyer who I told you talks in sound bites and is commenting about everything.
Yeah.
They go from this scene to her watching this scene on a laptop going, now that was powerful stuff. And I'm like, this is a weird narrator that's looking at me now. What the hell is going on? What am I even watching?
Do you feel like you missed like act 2 of like the reconciling?
Well, I'm waiting for Nathan Fielder to come out of the closet and being like, yeah, that's the rehearsal for what we're actually going to do. I'm like, this doesn't play as real at all to me. And then they go, okay, here comes the happy ending, right? And they go, the Manns, Reverend Bishop Mann and his wife, they take Natalia to court. And the judge goes like, what year were you born? And she goes, 2003. And they go, okay, what is the city? The court says you were born. She says, the court says I was born in 1988. And the judge is like, okay, so either way, like you're either 19 or you're older than 19, but you're an adult. And she goes, yeah. And they go, okay, then it's easy. Okay, you can be adopted as an adult. From this day forward, these two will be known as your parents, and you can take their last name. Everything's all good. They're playing happy music. The Manns are crying. Natalia's crying. Everything is going great. And then it fades to black, and it's a happy ending. And then text comes up on the screen. And it says, 6 months after the adoption, and weeks after we had stopped filming for this documentary, Bishop Mann called the producer. And you just hear him on the phone going, I don't know what is happening here, but Natalia is tweaking. She is holding us hostage in our own house. She's acting like we're the enemy. She's doing terrible things to our family. And then he just starts going off like she is this monster. Like this whole twist comes in via audio phone call. They just go to this video shot of Natalia just sitting there on the porch, like looking. He's describing a horror movie monster that is violent and holding his family hostage. And then text comes up on the screen that goes, Natalia Grace will continue. And you're like, oh my God.
That's really creepy. Can you imagine after all this time if she really is a menace?
That's what they're saying. But they're so good at like stretching this material, right? That the first season, you go in and you go, oh, she is a menace that's lying about her age. But then the second half of the first season, it's like, oh, she is not a menace that was not lying about her age, but these two that raised her are menaces. And then you get to the second season, and it's like, okay, this guy's nuts, but Christine is really the problem. But Natalia is going to see through it. And then you get to the second half of this season, and you're like, okay, Natalia's forgiving him, but everything's copacetic, and she's gotten adopted by the Mans, and we get a happy ending. She's been living with the Mans for years. Years she's been living with them. Since she got out of that apartment in the ghetto, she's been living with the Mans. And now, all of a sudden, she spent years and years and years. She finally gets adopted, goes through the court systems, and as soon as they make it legal, within months, she's got the whole family wrapped up in a tailspin. And what has she done to this family? Tune into season 3 to find out.
Bro, it's giving scripted. It's giving, there's a lot of...
I'm waiting for somebody to come out and be like, yeah, we were all actors. I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense that this could be reality. Because the first season did end with, oh, hey, by the way, we did actually interview Natalia Grace. See you in season 2. Deuces. And then this one is like, oh, by the way, Natalia Grace is now terrorizing these people. See you in season 3.
Not that there's like a proper protocol to documentaries, but it just seems like some shady tactics to keep you.
Wait. I just realized we're gonna get a season 3. Hang on.
Oh,
all right. Are you in your box, hot dog? You in your box?
I'm in there, dog.
It looks like we're getting a season 3 of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. I thought season 1 was wild. I had no idea what was that. Damn it. Let me try again.
Oh, come on. I got my facial expressions too. I got you. What's Uncle Carl sling at? And action.
You know how obsessed we were with The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. I thought season 1 was wild. I had no idea what to expect in season 2. I think we got it. Should I just
must play their pots.
Should I just email that clip directly to the producer? Like, I didn't even post it. I just sent
it. Same chain.
Got you. I got you, fam. I got you for the next one. Can't wait for season 3.
Be like, I see what's going on. Go ahead. Here's my signature. You can use this one. Yeah. I don't know. Now I don't want to believe this story because I don't want to seem like a mark when it comes out 5 years from now that all this was made up.
I mean, it'd be tough to make it up because there's court records, there's all this stuff going on.
Yeah, but for this switch up, I bet you season 3, what are they gonna do? They're gonna bring Christine back and she's gonna have her, I mean, I can't imagine Christine moment.
I can't imagine Christine's gonna participate. They'd have to give her a lot of money to participate because she is on the hook legally. If anything they're saying is true, for a lot.
Big if.
But, speaking of things not being real, have you seen this? There's a new George Carlin special out.
Oh, no. What is it, AI?
Yeah, so, and it's really interesting because people are just putting this out like it's an AI George Carlin special, but it's Dudesy. The Dudesy, Will Sasso's Dudesy podcast.
Oh.
So Dudesy...
I didn't know that was what it was called.
Yeah. Dudesy is an AI-generated podcast. Like the AI... Dudesy is the AI. And it's like... They do this podcast where I guess their producer is AI and gives them suggestions on what to do and topics and bits and all kinds of other stuff based on all the material that they've inputted into this system.
All right.
So they're brilliant. I mean, Dudesy is the same podcast that did that Tom Brady stand-up special. Remember an hour-long stand-up special of Tom Brady came out and it was AI? And Tom Brady...
I definitely didn't watch an hour of that.
You don't have to watch it. Who cares if you watch it? Everybody's talking about it. Tom Brady ended up suing, I think, and they had to take it down.
They're at it again?
Well, George Carlin is next. They have a full...
George can't sue.
They have but his daughter's pissed. I saw Callie Carlin on TMZ. She was like, this isn't even really my dad. And I was like, I know.
Oh, it's a good thing you realized.
Yeah, that's not even him. Yeah, I know. But yeah, and he's like tackling, there is actually trans material in here, as every good comedy special needs these days.
Issue.
Yeah. All the hot button issues are cleared. I mean, it's amazing. Look, it's clearly not 100% his voice. It's like, if he put out this special, it would feel kind of derivative of his other specials. But that's to be expected because it literally is derivative of his other specials. It is made using his other specials. That's the input that's put in. But it's still like unbelievable. They don't have video, obviously. It's the audio, and then they make graphics and photos and stuff using AI. You can tell that they're AI animated photos. But, I mean, it's a full hour, and it sounds enough like him that it's not designed to trick people. It's just designed to be like, oh, this is pretty wild. I think that's what people aren't fully.
It's just designed to show that we can do this.
Like,
kind of.
Look how it's just a thing. Look how cool this is.
Yeah.
And they actually, like in the warning, because I think they learned from the Tom Brady special, there's a whole thing in the beginning where it's Dudesy, and he's explaining that he's AI and that they have done this the exact same way that an impressionist does it. So if you're going to go after Dudesy, you're going to have to go after Matt Freed or whatever his name is on Instagram, who keeps doing those impressions. They do it. You're going to have to go after Jay Farrow if you go after Dudesy. This is Dudesy, and he's watched a whole bunch of George Carlin, and this is a computer doing an impression of George Carlin, is how they explain it in the warning before the special comes out.
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, obviously.
Really?
Shocker, but I don't know.
Do you think you gave that away when you didn't know what the word addendum meant?
Or the first one.
You don't even remember the word.
Remember when the Seinfeld AI got in trouble for there was like a similar kind of thing where they created a Seinfeld AI that was like 24/7 on Twitch. And
yes.
Eventually.
Yeah,
they started making like racist and trans jokes.
Yeah. No, look, I think you can't leave it to its own devices. I think that like any other tool, we have to control it. But I don't know. I mean, I always found AI hypothetically scarier than I do actually seeing it executed. Like the fact that people are already, like content makers are already figuring out how to use it as a tool, how to use it to their advantage, makes me feel like, I mean, at least now, maybe we're afraid of our robot overlords eventually, but at least now, it's just something that is a tool that we're using. This is still people. It's not like a robot decided to go out and trick people into thinking it's George Carlin, and maybe that'll still happen.
I was going to say, that's the next step, putting the AI.
I mean, everybody says this is the next step. That's the next step.
I mean, there's steps after
First of all, putting the AI in a robot is so far ahead. Like, this is what people don't understand. Like, yeah, this technology is great, but making a physical robot that looks exactly like a human being, we are so far away from that. You're going to be like, you're not going to be able to see them having doll eyes. You're not going to be able to see that they don't emote correctly, that they blink the wrong way.
Maybe they could fool children.
Children have parents.
Yeah, some are allowed to just run around.
Yeah,
and then eventually they meet a Seinfeld racist AI robot.
That Seinfeld racist thing really worried you, huh?
I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, there's racist people. A kid's just as likely to meet a racist person these days. You don't think a kid is likely to have a teacher that goes like, let me tell you something. This is what they try to teach you. I remember I had a teacher in high school that was like, the Civil War was just about states' rights. It was not about what they say it's about. You're like, wait a second. And you have to go and you realize like, oh, I bet I know who that teacher was voting for.
Did you catch up on that while you were a kid?
Did I realize as it was happening in real time?
Yeah.
No, in real time, I was like, oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. And then later I was like, I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just think that the by the time we have the technology to actually make robots that are passable human beings, which
like
is
the sex bots in Japan that are already there.
They're not already there.
You can have sex with them.
I understand you can have sex with them, hot dog. I know that you can have sex with them. They make things you can have sex with. Nobody thinks that a fleshlight and a woman's human anatomy are the same thing. You can have sex with both of them, though.
I'm Googling Japan sex bots, and I don't know. Go ahead.
You think it looks like a real person?
No, it looks dollish, but if the dolls.
That's what I'm saying. That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If this comes back to the next step, I'm saying.
If you stop with the next step, the next step is so far away. They've had dolls forever. They haven't really been able to make them look like people.
I mean, delete that from my history real quick.
Yeah, you can end up with some weird Jason Whitlock curated ads. Why is this up there? No, I think that by the time that we can make robots, first of all, by the time we can make robots, humans won't even be interacting with each other anyway. I don't think the robot thing will ever happen because everybody will be talking to each other through screens and virtual reality helmets, augmented reality helmets. So really, the robots aren't the danger anyway. It's tricking you into thinking that you're talking to a real person via a screen. It doesn't matter if you can meet them in person anyway. You know how many people, I'm sure right now, are getting catfished by AI? Tons.
I mean, look, you're just doing the same thing I am. You're veering into the distant future and predicting what our downfall is going to be. You're saying it's going to be, a virtual reality. I'm saying it's going to be Japanese sex bots. We're the same.
We're not even remotely the same. I mean, I literally saw a commercial for it when Apple put out the commercial for the Vision Pro and everything. Like, clearly that's where we're going. You're just horny because you've seen an ad for sex bots.
Hey, I spend a lot of time in Tokyo.
I know it's a second. I don't want to hear about. By the way, I don't want to hear about Tokyo anymore. Okay, because it's the second time today. It's the second time today. You texted me complaining about Elon Musk's tunnels. Your complaints were totally baseless. It was just a stupid excuse to bring up Tokyo's subway systems because you think you're cool because you saw Tokyo's subway system. Now you're talking about Japanese sex bots. I don't want to hear about Japan anymore. I don't care. I'm not interested. And I'm certainly, I want you to know this from my heart.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with my whole chest on this, okay? I'm not impressed. I am standing on business. I don't know how to do the sign language, but it looks super dope. I am not impressed that you took a vacation to Japan. It's not an impressive thing to me.
Okay. Let this be the last time Hot Dog calls me up or text messages me about Japan. I don't want to hear it.
Don't bring it up. I just think that people are already getting such a handle on how to utilize AI. As you're a video editor, right?
Yeah.
You're telling me that these video editing apps are not constantly getting updated with AI plugins?
They are, and I was. I didn't want to use it, but I'm coming around to it.
It's great. We got our heads wrapped around this thing. Like we are adapting to it so quickly that my kids are going to be able to completely manipulate AI without a problem.
That's scary.
It's not scary.
The future is scary.
No, it isn't. You know why the future is scary? Want to know why?
Why?
Because you're 32. Because
you remember.
You're not a kid anymore, and you thought you were a kid. You're not scared of the future. Hot dog, you ready to have your mind blown?
What?
Okay. Ready? You're not scared of the future. You know what you're scared of? Your own mortality.
I ain't afraid of dying, B. Ridiculous.
That's a little bit of a reductive way of taking what I said. That's fully encompass. That's not really what I meant. I didn't mean the physical.
I got the gist of it.
This is the problem. You don't have a full grasp on the technology that's coming out. And you're starting. You know what you're sniffing? Smell. You know what that's just the little sniff of. Am I mistaken or do I smell irrelevancy. No.
For years.
It's just a passing whiff. It's just a passing whiff, hot dog. You're not there yet. You're not there yet.
For a second, now it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's all good. You're lit again. No problem. But there was that haunted, and when that whiff of irrelevancy starts to fill your nostrils, that's when you go, we had it all figured out in the future, Scary.
That's when I become a middle manager and I hold these kids down.
Exactly. You went so quickly because it took you a while to mature. But now you spent like 1 year as an idealistic, let's unionize, young person.
Yeah, that's how it sounds.
And you let's unionize everybody. And then you've already passed that because you're sniffing it, because you're smelling it. You hit 25 at 30, and you're hitting 32 at 32. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I got a couple years left of the tank of relevancy. This is the tank of relevancy.
Oh, you're not even confident in saying that.
I am the table.
You're the table, but not like Logan Paul, like Botchamania.
Yeah.
Well, you know the rules of Sam. That's a lot of Stephen A. Smith. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry if we talked about Stephen A. Smith too much. You know the rules. I just love
last time.
I love the drama, and I tell you, he will never come up again on this show. Never. You thought I was done? Yeah, you said you were done. Super chat in. Every super chat will get acknowledged here on Sam Roberts Now. If there's something you'd like to add to that we talked about tonight, if there's something we didn't talk about tonight that you think we should bring up, give it to me. That's right. Super chat in. Hit like. A lot of you being stingy on likes. So hit like and comment on this. Don't forget, I'll probably start announcing guests next week, I want to say. Notsam Wrestling Live is going to be awesome. Notsam Wrestling Live coming to Tampa, Florida. Hot Dog, while he's smelling that irrelevancy, has also been getting a whiff of some of the guests that I've been cooking. And you're excited?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I've been texting Sam randomly, just without anything. I can't wait for Tampa. It's 3 weeks just laying in bed waiting for January 26th.
Bro, 2024 is going to be wild. It's going to be a wild time. I can smell it already, and it starts January 26th at Side Splitters in Tampa, Florida. Get your tickets to the live Not Sam Wrestling show. That's the Friday before the Rumble, 5 p.m. show. You can get tickets at notsamlive.com. Yeah. So get those tickets. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also subscribe to the Satisfying Podcast. A new episode of Satisfying went up on Thursday with mashup Nicole Biggins. And yeah, I mean, she's just a gem. She's fantastic. Subscribe at youtube.com/@satisfyingpod. Great thing for you to watch after this show is done tonight. Let's get to these super chats. Six Crow, just financiering. Just adding some capital.
Thank you, sir.
Just an investment in Sam Roberts Now. Thank you. Monkey You, been meaning to ask on radio, keep forgetting. Are your other kids happy about having another sibling? There any jealousy about a new baby coming? Also, this kid will only ever know you as being bald. These are all great points, great questions. The children are super psyched about the baby coming, especially my daughter. No jealousy yet. You never know what's going to creep up once this baby is here, taking mama's attention away. But right now, they can't wait. They're very much looking forward to having a baby in the house and being able to be teachers. These little kids are going to be able to be teachers. And yes, the kid is only going to know me as bald. I mean, the other two, I think my other kids were like 2 and 4 when I shaved my head. But this is advice that I would give anybody with little kids that's going to shave their head. Have the kids in the room when you get your head shaved. Because can you imagine how traumatic for those kids it would have been if I walked downstairs, because I shaved my head in the basement.
Right.
If I walked downstairs with a receding, Garfunkel fro and walked upstairs as a sexy bald man, they'd be like, who are you? And what have you done with my father?
What happened to your head? Part of your head just got cut off.
Your head is gone. I did it with them in the room so they could see the process, and it wasn't so alarming. So, yeah, that's what I would do if I were you. Inward C-word, Do you think MJ also had a little nickname for DJ Who Dat? You think Who Kid had, hey, Who Kid, you ever let a man give you a little nickname like that? You know what he called him? Christmas.
You ever let a man call you Christmas?
Not Sam Lehman. Sam, I hope your Zooms are also saved on the hard drive so the aliens can hear about me farting during Black Panther 2 or getting finessed by WWE. Of course, Not Sam Lehman, one of the great members of the Notsam Wrestling Patreon, paid $50,000 just for WrestleMania tickets, and then even more to see Monday Night Raw, to go to a Superstar brunch. I mean, they saw him, they fleeced him. And good for them, by the way. I'm on their side on that. And also...
you expense that?
Yeah. Can we write this off? Also farted during Black Panther 2 and grossed out the whole movie theater. It was during a very quiet part. B-Herb76, people 500 years from now need to know who your F, Marry, Kill was. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They're going to go through. Oh, yeah, I can see where you would make that choice. That's very logical. Six Crow, speaking of final episodes, have to watch the finale of The Curse. It was so Nathan Fielder. So I stopped watching... Although I did buy some of the merchandise, A24 and Online Ceramics just put out a line of T-shirts from the show, The Curse. So I got
it was a movie. I didn't even know it was a show.
Oh yeah, it's a series. Oh. And shout out to my Cherry Tomato boys, by the way. But yeah, I stopped watching after like episode 2-ish, 2 or 3, because it was getting very weird. And I remembered how tough it was when the rehearsal got weird. To go week to week, to have to space it out. So I wanted to be able to watch it as a chunk. So I'm now going to go back and watch from the beginning. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. Spuds Buckley, why did you stop DJ Who Kid from talking about Punk versus Jungle Boy? Piece of garbage hot dog is still cool.
Thank you.
I thought the conversation moved on organically. I contributed all that I could possibly contribute based on the knowledge that I had, and then moved on organically, as it is my job as the host of the show.
I still don't know who that big Hawaiian guy was that he was talking about. Do you?
No. Unless it was the Kona Crush, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just speculate forever. Bono Zombies. Love you guys, but I can tell by Hot Dog's forced smile, he cares about this show as I do. It's all you've talked about everywhere. Can't believe you made me bust my 20 load on this post. Skeet skeet. Oh,
Skeet,
yeah,
skeet.
This is 20th super chat, so congratulations. Cares
about
my
forced smile.
I don't know what show you're talking about. I don't know if you're being sarcastic. Just be direct. You know, I don't know. Suspect Phil, can we get Hot Dog versus Bishop Mans at Skankfest? Would you box Bishop Mans?
Fuck him up.
How about, Bishop Mans versus my little Mans at Skankfest?
Mans versus boys.
That's right. I'm going to make you Bishop Boys. What? PHWOFL. Hello, Mr. Brand Muffins, F, Marry, Kill, Natalia Grace, Anna Delvey, or that bitch Carol Baskins.
That goddamn bitch Carol Baskins.
Well, you can't marry Carol Baskins because she could kill you. Could. Don't know for sure. But also, Natalia Grace terrorizes people. I think and also Anna Delvey will fleece you. She'll take you for everything. Man.
I forgot who she was and I looked her up, but you know, she looked alright.
She's the one that lied about everything and was saying, "Oh, that's so basic."
Oh, she ripped off People magazine as well. Yeah, I remember that.
You didn't like that, huh?
I know. I like that.
I hate you.
Oh yeah, someone that I vaguely know at the office got ripped off.
So I guess I'll marry. You know what? Let's roll the dice and marry Natalia Grace. I'm gonna marry Natalia Grace. I feel like come at me. I dare you. I would love to try to manipulate me. I dare you. Let's go. Let's go to war. Okay.
You'll be calling the producers in 6 months.
I don't know. It was an F, Marry, Kill. I thought I was making the right decision. I'm of strong mind and body, but she's, what was it Bishop Man said? She's tweaking. Marry Natalia Grace. I'm going to spend a night with Anna Delvey. And I'm going to kill, as you put it, that bitch Carol Baskins. I think that's the way to go. I think that's the way you have to go.
Yeah, Anna Delvey would treat you either she would treat you really well for one night because, you know, she has all this credit card information, or she'll rip the hell out of you.
No, I feel like if it's a one night stand, Anna Delvey will use somebody else's stolen money to have a fun with me. Mm-hmm. If it's a marriage, she's taking everything. Does that make sense?
Right.
And then so it's down to the two people that could put me in danger, which is Carol Baskin and Natalia Grace. And Carol Baskin, she's like a big woman. She's like a linebacker, so I don't want to have to fight her off, you know?
Yeah, she deals with tigers, so
exactly.
She can handle you.
That's what I was thinking. So that's probably the way I would do it. Plus, then I'd probably be cool with Joe Exotic if I, So then that could be fun.
Is he still in jail?
He is, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
And I honestly don't know how he'll ever recover from this financially. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging tonight. You're the best. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do the thing. Subscribe to Notsam Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to @SatisfyingPod on YouTube. It's going to be a fun-ass year. We'll see you soon. You got 5 styluses. You might as well use them. Cheers with you later.